So, where do you scratch off your instant game ticket? Yes, Ohio Lottery instant games. As many ways to win as you've got ways to scratch.
Which contact lens would you rather wear? One that's fresh and new once a year, or one that's fresh and new every 2 weeks? Introducing SureView from Johnson & Johnson. The easy-to-care-for daily wear lens you replace every 2 weeks to eliminate long-term buildup that can irritate your eyes. Imagine, a year of wearing fresh, clean lenses only costs about what you pay now. Isn't it time you changed your lenses? SureView. Ask your eye care professional about a free trial pair.
Barbecue? Right now? Bag it? McDonald's? Hey, McRib. Now you're talking.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. Jump!
The great taste of the McRib sandwich is back at a special price of $1.99 only at McDonald's. So come on in for the great taste and value of the McRib sandwich for only $1.99. Try McRib today.
A chance of drizzle tonight, clearing by morning. We'll have a low of 30.
Live from Los Angeles, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences presents Oscar, the 64th Annual Academy Awards. Brought to you by Revlon. The most unforgettable women in the world wear Revlon. Chevrolet, the cars and trucks more people depend on. The Prudential, in a changing world, one thing remains rock solid, the Prudential. And Coca-Cola Classic, you can't beat the real thing. It's twilight in California, where movie fans have been gathering since early morning outside the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. You're invited to share the film community's big night as the stars arrive. Celebrating her first nomination for Cape Fear, Juliette Lewis. An actor and now a director as well, former Oscar nominee Edward James Olmos. She has a perfect record Oscar, 2 nominations to win, Sally Field. He made a big splash in the film's Big and Splash, Tom Hanks. Together for Oscar night, Whoopi Goldberg and Timothy Dalton. Star of the new hit movie Mambo Kings, Antonio Banderas. 3 nominations, 2 actors, actor, producer, director Kevin Costner. Young, beautiful, and talented, a winning combination in any league, Daryl Hannah. The Meaning of Menace and Silence of the Lambs, Oscar nominee for Best Actor, Anthony Hopkins. 2 Oscar nominations for Boys in the Hood, John Singleton. Oscar nominee for Best Actress, the irrepressible Bette Midler. A first-time nominee and a crowd favorite, Nick Nolte. Choreographer-director Debbie Allen and husband Norm Nixon. Last year's winner for supporting actor, Joe Pesci. Last year's Oscar winner for Best Actress, Kathy Bates. The controversial director, producer, and screenwriter, Oscar nominee Oliver Stone. Oscar winner for her work in Fritzi's Honor, Angelica Houston. First-time nominee for Best Actress, Laura Dern. Everybody's definition of class, Academy Award winner Audrey Hepburn. From the accounting firm of Price Waterhouse, who tabulate the balloting and guarantee the secrecy and the integrity of the results, Mr. Frank Johnson and Mr. Dan Lyle. Winner of the Oscar for his performance in Glory, Denzel Washington. Star of Ghost, Dirty Dancing, and a presenter of Tonight Show, Patrick Swayze. One of Hollywood's bright new stars and a presenter tonight, Rebecca De Mornay. Celebrating over 40 years in films, capped tonight with another Oscar nomination, Jack Palance. Screenwriter-novelist, Fannie Flagg. Newlyweds and new parents, Warren Beatty and Annette Bening. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oscar-winning actor who is serving his third term as president of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Mr. Carl Malden.
Hello again. It's been a year since I welcomed to our last Academy Awards, and what a year it was. The maps of the world have changed, governments changed, political climates, economics, and fashions continue to change, but at least one thing remains constant: the pure joy of movies. And for me, it's a joy to watch them, it's a joy to help make them, and it's a joy to serve this Academy that encourages excellence by celebrating the best of what we do. Now, this has been an in-year for movies. Intelligent, intuitive, inspired, individual. A year nourished by stunning performances and imaginative screenplays. And so tonight, we expect more golden moments with Oscar. And not only has it been a golden year on the screen, but also in the Academy, where we have opened a spanky new Center for Motion Picture Study. And if you haven't seen it, I want you all to go. I invite you all. But first, we have some joyful business to take care of here. And I can't think of a better way to start than with some laughs that filmmaker Chuck Workman has assembled from movies that still bring joy to the world.
Whether I go in for diamonds or sing in the choir. The choir lost.
Not much meat on it, but what's there is choice.
Now, Aunt Ethel, I'd like you to meet Harv.
Insanity runs in my family.
Practically gallops.
Hey, you know there's a show going on down here.
Patty cake, baker's man. Baker's cake is back to you.
Sorry, I can't go through with this because I can't get it off my mind, Allison. It's obsessing me.
Oh, I'm getting tired of it. I need your attention.
But it doesn't make any sense. He drove past the book depository, and the police said conclusively that it was an exit wound. So how is it possible for Oswald to have fired from two angles at once?
The FBI falsified the Bethesda autopsy.
I believe Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone.
Silence!
This isn't a hospital! It's an insane asylum!
Is green the only color these comments?
some radical new therapy?
Hi. Look, I'm sorry to bother you so late, but I don't love you and you don't love me, so let's get a divorce, all right?
How do you feel now?
I think the Pepto-Bismol helped.
Oh. Mr. Gallagher.
You've done this before.
Woof.
Oh, God. Now, do you want to do it just like that with no feeling on my part?
Yeah.
You're just a child. You're not supposed to be interested in such things.
There's a lot of things about me you don't know anything about, Daddy.
God, I begged you to get some therapy.
Hey, wait a minute.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
It's rough sometimes, see me.
What's the space in this mall?
We're running out of time.
Surely there must be something you can do.
I'm doing everything I can. Now stop calling me Shirley.
Is everybody happy?
And now, your host for the 64th Academy Awards presentation, Mr. Billy Crystal.
I'm having some of the Academy over for dinner. Care to join me?
Yes, anytime.
Anytime. Good evening. Remember me? Thank you very much. I look like the goalie from the SAG hockey team. Thank you. Hurry up, we were so worried about you. Thank you very much. I can relax now. And to present our first award, a two-time Academy Award nominee and last year's winner for Best Supporting Actress, ladies and gentlemen, a good friend of mine, Miss Whoopi Goldberg.
As a rule, the gentleman who received the award for his performance in a supporting role one year comes back the next to present the Oscar to the woman for her performance. And pardon my Latin, vice versa. That's the Academy tradition, so they tell me. They also tell me that last year I was the woman. And they told me this when I got out of shock therapy last October. I hope the 5 gentlemen who are waiting for me to open this envelope are better insulated than I was. But on second thought, I hope they're not. And they are Tommy Lee Jones and JFK.
Intelligence agency.
And if I were, Mr. Garrison, do you believe I would be here today talking to somebody like you?
Harvey Keitel and Bugsy.
Respect. I understand from Jack Dragna you stole $56,000 and change.
It was 42, not 56.
42? I thought you didn't steal anything.
I didn't. But if I had, it would have been 42.
Ben Kingsley in Bugsy.
Protecting me, Benny. When we were kids, you were always behind me. But I can't protect you. My shares. What about them?
I own a third of the hotel. I'll sell it.
That's all you've got, Ben. You'll end up with nothing. After all this, nothing.
Michael Lerner in Barton Fink.
First of all, this is a wrestling picture. The audience wants to see action, adventure, wrestling, and plenty of it. They don't want to see a guy wrestling with his soul. Well, all right, a little bit for the critics. There's plenty of poetry right inside that ring, Fink.
Jack Palance in City Slickers.
No, what?
This. Your finger?
One thing. Just one thing.
That's great, but what's the one thing?
That's what you gotta figure out.
The envelope. Gentlemen, start your engines. And the Oscar for Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role goes to Jack Palance, City Slickers.
Billy Crystal. God, I crap bigger than him. Yeah. You know, there are times when you reach a certain age plateau where the producers they talk about you and they say, well, what do you think? Can we risk it? Can we do it? Can we use him? The other guy says, I don't know, let's look at some younger ones. We can make them look older, but this one, you know, it's kind of difficult. They forget to ask that you go out there and you do all these things. Like, for instance, you know, you go out there and you do these push-ups. No, that's nothing really. As far as the two-handed push-ups are concerned, you can do that all night. And it doesn't make any difference whether she's there or not. Because... and besides, it's a hell of a lot less expensive. Wow. You know, a long time ago, 1949, first picture, 1949, first film. I've been shooting about 2 weeks, and the producer came to me and he said, Jack, my name at that time was Vladimir, but he called me Jack. He says, Jack, you're going to win the Academy Award. Can you believe it? 42 years later, he was right. How this son of a bitch knew. Thank you.
The 64th Annual Academy Awards will continue shortly with Angela Lansbury, Kathleen Turner, and Joe Pesci.
of sweeping changes, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the Rock. The Prudential Rock Solid.
Yo, come on, move this. Shake that body. Shake that body. Baby, let me show you how to do this. You gotta move this. You gotta move that. Shake that body for me.
Revlon Guaranteed Nail Enamel. 85 colors guaranteed to be the best you've ever worn.
Well, I just want to add a personal note that I'm thrilled that Jack Palance won. One, because he's a man of few words, and I learned a lot from him. The first movie I ever saw in my life was Shane, and to act with him was a big thrill. He taught me a very important lesson. One day he looked at me and went, "Just settle down." So, no, and I'm thrilled he was nominated. I'm thrilled he won. You know, I happen to have been in every scene with him, and I birthed the calf. You know, I'm the one who got my hands up actually in there while he was, you know, having lunch, and he wasn't even in the shot, but it's okay. No, it's fine. I have no problem, okay? I know why I wasn't nominated. It's because I'm a woman. Look, Jeff Goldblum, The Fly. And now, here is a lovely lady who started her career with Body Heat and has been turning up the heat ever since in movies as diverse as Romancing the Stone, Prizzi's Honor, The Accidental Tourist, and her Academy Award-nominated performance in Peggy Sue Got Married. The voice of Jessica Rabbit herself, Miss Kathleen Turner.
Tonight, we all share one common emotion, suspense. Now, there's one sure cure for it. You take an Oscar and you call your agent in the morning. Jack Palance has just received the first award. If we keep the pace rapid, the tempo brisk, hint, 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 hint. In about 2.5 hours, we will find out who gets the last Oscar for this year. Now, between now and then, we will sample the 5 movies that the voting members of the Academy have nominated for Best Picture. Let's start with one that provided one of its producers with perhaps the most challenging part in his career. The title role of a smart, suave, wise guy who gets outsmarted. A girl, a gangster, his own ambition. Do him in. Now here is a scene from our first film, Bugsy.
Look, you're Ben Siegel and I'm Virginia Hill, okay?
Yeah.
Now, why are you so interested in a gal who's going with your friend?
What friend? Joey A. He's no friend of mine. He's an associate of an associate. You still going with him?
If it were New Year's Eve, he would be my date. Who would your date be?
Wife.
Wife?
Esther.
Esther?
Esther. E-S-T-A.
Good. Let me guess. I'll bet Esther lives her life faithful to her one and only Ben, who plays around like a jackrabbit on the side and lies about it through his teeth.
I don't lie to Esther.
That's noble. What do? Confess your sins 3 times a day? Now, what exactly does Mr. Esther want from Miss Virginia?
Right now, Mr. Esther is having a tremendous amount of difficulty imagining anything he doesn't want from Miss Virginia.
Are you ready for a divorce, Mr. Siegel?
Never.
Dialogue's cheap in Hollywood, Ben. Why don't you run outside and jerk yourself a soda?
Everybody, everybody. Ooh. That line was taken directly from the Clarence Thomas Anita Hill transcript. I just was given a bulletin. Jack Palance is now on the Stairmaster. We'll keep you posted during the evening. He's apparently he's doing the Iron Man event tonight, and if you've never seen him on a bike in shorts, it's something. She is currently giving us chills in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and he is making us laugh in The Addams Family. Here are Rebecca De Mornay and Christopher Lloyd.
Mr. De Mornay and I are pleased to present the Oscar for makeup, which Oscar never wears.
But you do, don't you, Mr. Lloyd?
Just a touch.
Here are 3 examples of how makeup artists apply their art, from their original sketches to their final creations.
The nominees are Christina Smith, Monty Westmore, and Greg Canham for Hook.
Michael Mills, Edward French, and Richard Snell for Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country.
Stan Winston and Jeff Dawn for Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And the Oscar goes to, where's the envelope? The envelope.
You must be kidding. Would someone
Did you supposed to have the envelope?
give us a hand with the envelope, please?
The award for Best Achievement in Makeup goes to Stan Winston and Jeff Dawn for Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
We'd like to thank Steve Laporte, Peter Toffball, all the people at my studio, especially John Rosengrant, Shane Mahan, and Richard Landon, who've been with me from the start. The guy who sat in that chair for 4 hours every day and made this all work, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the brilliant director behind it all, Jim Cameron. Thank you.
And I'd like to give a special thanks to the 2 men who made this possible for me, made this all happen tonight. Bob and Wes Dawn, the late Bob and Wes Dawn. Wherever you are, guys, this is for you. Thank you very much.
Three-time Oscar nominee and 4-time Tony Award winner, Ms. Angela Lansbury.
In the category Original Song, there are 3 songs nominated from a single film. What is most unusual is that the 3 songs are sung by artists who never appear on the screen. To solve the mystery, let me say they are from the animated feature Beauty and the Beast. Here are 2 of the songs nominated this year for Original Song. One is called Belle, and the other one is called Be Our Guest. They are both written by Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, and will be sung tonight in the flesh by the original voices, Paige O'Hara, Richard White, and Jerry Orbach. Here are 3 of the best singing, 2 of the best from Beauty and the Beast.
Town, it's a quiet village. Every day
like the one before. Little town full of little people waking up to say bonjour, 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 bonjour. There goes the baker with his tray like always, the same old bread and rolls to sell. Every morning just the same, since the morning that we came to this poor provincial town. Good morning, Belle. Good morning, monsieur.
But there she goes, the girl is so peculiar. I wonder if she's feeling well.
With a dreamy far-off look
And her nose stuck in a book. What a puzzle to the rest of us is
Oh, isn't this amazing? It's my favorite part because you see, here's where she meets Prince Charming, but she won't discover that it's him till chapter 3.
There she is, the lucky girl I'm going to marry. She's the most beautiful girl in town. That makes her the best. And don't I deserve the best? Right from the moment when I met her, saw her, I said she's gorgeous, and I fell. Here in town there's only she who is beautiful as me. So I'm making plans to woo and marry Belle.
There he goes, isn't he dreamy? Monsieur Gaston, oh he's so cute. Be still, my heart, I'm hardly breathing. He's
Hold on!
a lovely grace.
Some cheese!
Excuse me! Please let me through!
And every mistake.
There must be more than his provincial life.
Just what I'm going to make Belle my wife.
There she goes, a girl who's strange and special. Almost peculiar, mademoiselle. It's a beauty and a sin. She doesn't quite fit in, but she really is a funny girl.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you tonight. And now, we invite you to sit back and relax as the dining room proudly presents your dinner. Be our guest. Be our guest. Tie a napkin round your chest. Try the service turn tonight, my dear, and we'll provide the best. Soup du jour, hot hors d'oeuvre. Why, we only live to serve. Try the gray stuff, it's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. They can sing, they can dance. After all, miss, this is France, and a dinner here is never second best. Go on, unfold your menu, take a glance, and then you'll be our guest. We our guest, be our guest. Beef ragout, cheese soufflé, pie and pudding en flambe. We'll prepare and serve with care a culinary cabaret. You're alone and you're scared, but the banquet's all prepared. No one's gloomy or complaining while the flatware's entertaining. We tell jokes, I do tricks with my fellow candlesticks, and it's all in perfect taste that you can bet. Come on and lift your glass, you've won your own free pass to be our guest. If you're stressed, it's fine dining we suggest. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Hopla! Areopa! Bravo! While the candlelight's still glowing, let us help you, we'll keep going. Course by course, one by one, till you shout enough and done. Then we'll sing you off to sleep as you digest. Tonight so put your feet up, but for now let's eat up. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Please be our guest.
3 of Hollywood's most respected citizens, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and Gina Davis, coming up on the 64th Academy Awards.
We have traveled together for more than 80 years. You can hear it. We have seen highs and lows. Heartbeat. Trends come and go. But through it all, one symbol has stood for simple, honest values. Things that last, and giving you more than you'd expect. Chevrolet. The cars more people depend on.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
I lost 40 pounds in 4 months on the Ultra Slim Fast plan, and I've kept it off for over a year.
It's been 2 years since I lost my 25 pounds.
And I lost 30 pounds almost 3 years ago. The plan is easy. I had a delicious shake for breakfast, one for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. It's the delicious low-fat way to lose weight.
We took it off?
And kept it off.
If we can do it, you can do it.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
The recipient of the Oscar last year for supporting actor, Joe Pesci.
Thank you. It's my pleasant job to present the nominees in the category of actress in a supporting role. We're looking at 5 women who range in age from none of your business to how dare you ask. Which proves that fine acting is a product of talent, not time. The 5 nominees are
How about Rose's wishes, the one?
Diane Ladd in Rambling Rose.
Let him be guided by the wishes of the creative power of life itself, because that is what has spoken through me here today.
Juliette Lewis in Cape Fear.
You know me pretty well, don't you, darling?
Yeah.
You're gonna get to know me a lot better, too.
Kate Nelligan in The Prince of Tides.
Todd Newberry insulted our family, Mama. He called us cheap white trash.
And then you proved him right by whaling him, you stupid cracker.
Oh, isn't this a lovely view? I want to go home.
Mercedes Ruehl in The Fisher King.
Man was made in the devil's image, and women were created out of God. Because after all, women can have babies, which is kind of like creating. And which also accounts for the fact that women are so attracted to men. Because let's face it, the devil is a hell of a lot more interesting.
Jessica Tandy in Fried Green Tomatoes.
Going through the change. I used to burst into tears for no reason at all. You need some hormones. Sure, honey. You get yourself some hormones.
And the Oscar goes to Mercedes Ruehl, The Fisher King.
Oh, thank you. I went to New York to study acting the summer that I was 21. And like thousands of actors before me and thousands of actors after me, I went through the usual scores of moonlighting jobs and the usual scores of rejection and the usual legions of prophets of doom who are always there and always at the ready to give you the up-to-minute odds against you ever making anything of yourself in this business. And at this moment, all of those sort of doleful memories have suddenly transformed themselves into nothing more than the sort of charming and amusing anecdotes from my memoirs. I cannot thank you enough. There are a few people I'd like to thank with all my heart very quickly. The great Terry Gilliam. Richard LaGravenese, our screenwriter. An extraordinary cast. It was an honor to work with them. Roger Pratt, our cinematographer. Steve Randall, Linda Opes, Deborah Hill, Howard Fuhrer, Marcia McManus, my family and my close friends for their patience and their respect and their support. And finally, I would like to thank Albert Inarato and the late Joseph Papp, who gave me my first shot on the New York stage and my first break in the big time, and especially the late, great Joe Papp, who once in a rehearsal for that play nudged me out of the shadow into the light and told me to stay there in no uncertain terms. I have, I do, I will. Thanks, Joe. Thank you.
Jack Palance just bungee jumped off the Hollywood sign. These kids today, you know? Little decaf Jack. By now, back to reading, those of you in America are probably used to seeing these red ribbons that some of us are wearing. But for our global audience, I'd like to explain that they are worn as a symbol of AIDS awareness and to show our solidarity with the people who are suffering from this epidemic and with the people who are fighting every day to wipe it off the face of our earth. And now a nominee last year for Best Supporting Actress. This year, she not only starred opposite Warren Beatty, she married him. Talk about improving your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, a great actress, Miss Annette Bening.
The films nominated for art direction this year range from the recreation of times gone by to the creation of places that never were. All of the pictures share a look that delights the eye and enhances the experience of the moviegoer. For art direction, the nominees are Barton Fink, art direction by Dennis Gassner, set decoration by Nancy Haig. Bugsy, art direction by Dennis Gassner, set decoration by Nancy Haig. The Fisher King, art direction by Mel Bourne, set decoration by Cindy Carr. Hook, art direction by Norman Garwood, set decoration by Garrett Lewis. The Prince of Tides, art decoration by Paul Silbert, set decoration by Carol Heller. And the Oscar goes to Dennis Gassner for Bugsy, and set decoration, Nancy Haig.
Wow, two, okay. I'd like to thank the Academy Warren Beatty, Barry Levinson, Mark Johnson, Charles Neuwirth for creating such a wonderful film. My art department, Leslie McDonald, my art director, the art department staff, my family, my friends, and my wife, Amy Ness. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my wonderful crew, Robert Greenfield and Paige and Claire and Tinker and Spell and Linda and Charlie, and a great prop master, Jerry Moss. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the all-time box office champion, producer-director, Steven Spielberg.
If you're a film producer, and who isn't these days, the highest honor you can receive from our Academy is this, the Irving Thalberg Award. The Academy's Board of Governors doesn't grant it every year. It is named in honor of a visionary young producer who changed the look of motion pictures. Irving Thalberg knew about the pure joy of movies. He had an instinct for audience-pleasing entertainment, and he was a keen judge of story, and he had a very, very shrewd eye for talent. From inception to completion, he pursued polished craftsmanship. Irving Thalberg established new watermarks for films in the late 20s and 30s. And now in the 80s and 90s, another young, hands-on producer has changed the look and the sound of not only his movies, but everybody else's movies. The awesome list of audience-pleasing entertainment for which he is responsible earns the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award for my valued colleague and great and loyal friend, George Lucas.
I consider myself a storyteller, he says. I make movies because I have to feel alive. George Walton Lucas Jr. grew up in the small town of Modesto in Northern California. In his teens, he was fascinated with anything mechanical and had a vivid imagination. At the University of Southern California, George was an innovative filmmaker from the start. He showed his brilliance with an award-winning student film, THX 1138 Electronic Labyrinth. With the support of Francis Ford Coppola, George remade THX 1138 as his first feature film. It was a powerful glimpse into the Lucas themes to come.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
American Graffiti proved that George had a special ability to touch the audience. The immensely successful film introduced a host of talented young actors and earned 5 Academy Award nominations. Lucas's imagination reached into the galaxy with Star Wars. His adventure fantasy saga became an international phenomenon. Star Wars was an opportunity for George to create, as he says, a modern mythology to give a new generation a sense of values.
The Force? The Force is what gives the Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
These spectacular special effects revolutionized motion pictures, but were always grounded in Lucas's belief in the individual.
All right, coming in.
Technology won't save us, he says, only our own inner strength.
You must unlearn what you have learned. All right, I'll give it a try. No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
Sister. So, you have a twin sister. Your feelings have now betrayed her too. Obi-Wan was wise to hide her from me. Now his failure is complete. If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
Indiana Jones was another epic series from the Lucas imagination. The adventures of the rogue anthropologist took a whole generation back to the movies.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Is he nuts?
You know nuts. He's crazy.
Molaram, prepare to meet Kali in hell. Oh! Put out away!
Yes?
Elora Danan has chosen.
Through Lucasfilm Limited, he has continued to produce quality motion pictures expressing his social idealism and belief in the audience.
You need a warrior for a job like this. I'm a nobody. Elora, you don't want me.
But a big business closes the door on the little guy with a new idea. We're not only closing the door on progress, but we're sabotaging everything that we fought for. Everything that the country stands for.
Creator of 5 of the top 10 box office hits of all time, George Lucas has also changed the way movies are made. With his creative team, he has forged new frontiers, from advanced visual effects to electronic editing. His THX sound system has brought new dimensions and enjoyment to the movie-going public. Storyteller, innovator, visionary, like his creation, Luke Skywalker, George Lucas continues to look into the future and dream.
George Lucas.
I'd like to thank the Academy members and the Board of Governors for this tremendous honor, not only for myself, but for the thousands of talented men and women, robots and aliens, and others with whom I've been lucky enough to share the creative experience in the last few years. Movies are not made in isolation. It's a group activity, and it's only because of the work, the very hard work, of many actors, writers, directors, producers, creative technicians, thousands of assistants of all kinds, and projectionists, that I'm able to stand here and accept this award. I'm very, very grateful to them all. I'd especially like to thank a group of devoted individuals who, apart from my parents, have done the most to shape my life, my teachers. From kindergarten through college, their struggle, and it was a struggle, to help me learn to grow and learn was not in vain, and it is greatly appreciated. I've always tried to be aware of what I say in my films, because all of us who make motion pictures are teachers with very loud voices, but we will never match the power of the teacher who is able to whisper in a student's ear. Thank you, Francis, for being my mentor. And finally, thanks to my current and most important teachers, my 2 daughters. They have taught me more and enriched my life beyond anything imaginable. After 20 years, this award comes at what I hope is the halfway point in my career, and I assure you that I will strive to be worthy of all it signifies. Thank you very, very much.
There's someone else who wants to say congratulations to you. Someone else wants to say thank you and congratulations. So look at the screen.
Carl, it's on its way now. You should be getting it.
Good evening. I'm Shuttle Commander Charlie Bolden, speaking to you from the Space Shuttle Atlantis as we orbit Earth at an altitude of 182 miles, or almost 300 kilometers. It's our hope that this mission and those that follow will help compel people around the world, particularly young people, to pursue the scientific and technological frontiers of space to reap their benefits for this and future generations. The imagination and ingenuity that have turned dreams into the reality of spaceflight are no different than those which turn ideas and inspiration into motion that kind of ingenuity that we are carrying a special celebrity aboard our spaceship. We are very honored to assist in recognizing George Lucas, an explorer in his own right, who has pushed the boundaries of cinematography and science fiction to excite imaginations and to inspire young and old throughout the world about this new ocean we call space. Congratulations, George Lucas, from the crew of Atlantis.
More awards to come, presented by three of Oscar's favorites, Susan Sarandon, Denzel Washington, and Sally Field.
Unforgettable. That's what you are. Unforgettable. Though near or far, that's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable.
The most unforgettable women in the world wear Revlon.
Forget about one-size-fits-all as a marketing strategy. Today, you have to make each customer feel unique.
At AT&T, we have a range of calling plans that match the way small companies do business.
In 1978, I created my first racing wheelchair. Today, I make them for people all over the world. Probably 99% of my business is done long distance.
AT&T created Pro Watts for businesses that depend on long distance. The more you call, the higher the discount.
We're based in Oakland, but we do a lot of business with LA and Seattle.
AT&T Small Business Option Area Code Plan gives an automatic 10% discount on the 1 or 2 area codes they call most.
We sell toys from all over the world. We call Russia, Hungary, China.
We're working now out of 3 locations just to fill the demand.
For small businesses that have grown to more than 1 location, our Custom Net plan combines their long-distance bills for the maximum possible discount.
Rule number 1 is know the customer, and I would say rule number 2 is know the customer as well.
We can make a difference. AT&T. Call us.
I'm Spartacus. It's the music, you know. The shuttle has just rendezvoused with Jack Palance, who has somehow launched himself into orbit. We'll keep you posted. You know, there was a rumor that Boris Yeltsin was going to be in town tonight. I was just picturing him at Spago trying to get in. And how many in your party? Yeah. Anyway, please welcome terrific actress, the star of Dead Calm, Days of Thunder, and the upcoming Far and Away with her husband, Tom Cruise. And if that movie gets 10 nominations, she'll improve her seats, too. Ladies and gentlemen, a very beautiful and talented actress, Miss Nicole Kidman.
The film was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Exciting adventure, romantic spectacle, the pure joy of movies. But there was something else that emerged from the picture that had a life beyond the screen. It's the beautiful, timeless song, Everything I Do It For You. It was written by Robert John Lang, Michael Kamen, and Bryan Adams. It was Bryan who sang it in the film, and he will do so again tonight, accompanied by Michael Kamen.
Look into my eyes, you see what you mean to me. Search your heart, search your soul, and when you find no more. Don't tell me it's not worth trying for. You can't tell me it's not worth dying for. You know it's true. Everything I do it for you. Look into your heart, and you will find there's nothing there to hide. So take me as I am, take my life. I would give it all, I would sacrifice. Don't tell me it's not worth fighting for. I can't help it, there's nothing I want more. You know it's true. Everything I do it for you. There's no love like your love, and no other could give more love. There's nowhere unless you're there all the time, all the way. You know it's true. Everything I do, I'll do it for you.
Let's go on. There are two hot movies currently playing in your local theaters. The stars from both of them are with us tonight. In Spain, he is known as El Hombre Los Más Que Vive, or as the sexiest man alive. Wait a second, Nick Nolte, aren't you the sexiest man alive? You were, right? And Kevin Costner, weren't you the sexiest man alive last year? You know who finished second? Jack Palance. She got him, and she is from the box office hit Basic Instinct. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sharon Stone and the Mambo King's Antonio Banderas.
In the movies, if the actor opens a bottle of wine in a scene, the sound man provides the. But if you step on a cat in the dark, the cat provides the.
The sound effects editor makes sure the wine doesn't meow and cats don't.
We have the enchanting assignment to present the glamorous award for sound effects editing.
And to dramatize their work, here are 3 nominated samples of scenes without sound effects, followed immediately by the scenes with the edited effects.
When?
14? Good.
Backdraft, Gary Rydstrom and Richard Hims. Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, George Waters II and F. Hudson Miller.
Shields! Shields! Shields!
Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Gary Rydstrom and Gloria S. Borders.
And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to Gary Rydstrom and Gloria S. Borders for Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Thanks, Academy members, for this great honor. I share it with the most creative, hard-working effects and Foley team ever. Thanks to my friends Kate Coombs, Ron Jacobs, and Karen Harding, and especially to my mother and father for giving me the strength and confidence and inspiration to follow this dream.
We'd like to thank Carolco and TriStar for the opportunity. This film was a collaboration of a lot of talented people, starting with Jim Cameron. We truly share this award with everybody at Skywalker Sound North. Their work and their support and their inspiration is what keeps us going. I owe personal thanks to my family for their enthusiasm, all my friends for keeping me laughing, and Cindy for everything. Thank you.
Another former Oscar winner returns, Mr. Denzel Washington.
The second film nominated for Best Picture is a Camelot production from Warner Brothers. It is the bold retelling of disturbing events leading up to and following the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Arguably the most controversial movie of the decade so far. Its power has caused overwhelming audience reaction. It is, of course, JFK.
Authority forgets a dying king. This was never more true than for John F. Kennedy, whose murder was probably one of the most terrible moments in the history of our country. You, the people, the jury system sitting in judgment on Clay Shaw, represent the hope of humanity against government power. In discharging your duty and bringing the first conviction in this house of cards against Clay Shaw, that's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Do not forget your dying king. Show this world that this is still a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Nothing as long as you live will ever be more important. It's up to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome two great actresses, both of them nominated for Best Actress this evening. Thelma and Louise themselves, Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon.
To honor the film editors, some of the most important people in Hollywood. In their skilled hands often rests the fate of an entire movie.
That's true. Like in our film, Thelma and Louise, the way the final scene was edited, it was sort of left ambiguous what really happened to us in the end.
Ambiguous, Tina? Our T-Bird went off the edge of the Grand Canyon. Well, it's not exactly ambiguous.
Well, nobody saw us land, did they?
Well, no. Nobody saw us land. It was a freeze frame on the car, but the car actually, people... What did you think people thought happened?
Well, we could have grabbed onto something, or we were going fast. Maybe we made it to the other side. Susan, if we didn't survive the crash, there's no sequel.
We could have bounced.
There you go.
Actually. All right, so now that we've settled that, the film editors nominated this year are Jerry Hamling for The Commitments, Joe Hutzing and Pietro Scalia for JFK, Craig McKay for Silence of the Lambs, Conrad Buff, Mark Goldblatt, and Richard A. Harris for Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Tom Noble for Thelma and Louise.
And the Oscar goes to Joe Hutching and Pietro Scalia for JFK.
It's rare that a man has the courage to consistently seek out the higher truth. John F. Kennedy was such a man. Oliver Stone is such a man. I feel very fortunate to be a part of this project. Thank you, Alex Ho, Jim Garrison, Zach Sklar, Julie Monroe, Bill Brown, Hank Corwin, Bob Richardson, Wiley Stateman, Mike Minkler, John Williams, and my personal thanks to my parents, David Brenner, David Nelson, Loren, and thank you, Pietro.
Thank you, Joe. Members of the Academy, I'm deeply honored. Making a movie with Oliver Stone is like going to battle, and JFK was a battle that we all won. Thank you, Oliver. I'm very proud to have been a part in fulfilling your vision, and that through the language of cinema, we have opened a historical debate. My deep thanks to everybody Joe mentioned, and to our assistants, Paul Benson, Devin Miller. Thank you very much. And thank you to my wife, Teresa, and my friends and family in Switzerland and Italy who are sharing this moment with me. Ce l'ho fatta.
Hollywood at its most glamorous in the next segment, starring Audrey Hepburn, Demi Moore, and Sylvester Stallone.
JCPenney, we've changed the way we look at details.
The way a pattern's cut.
A pleat is pressed.
A button sewn.
We're looking harder than ever.
And better than ever.
Change, JCPenney.
We've changed our feel for fabrics. We've gotten softer.
Smoother.
Thicker.
Thinner.
Lighter.
And tighter.
We've changed. JCPenney.
We've raised our standards and refined our selection.
We've added names you know and names you can count on.
We've shipped in Dockers,
Hitched up with Hager.
and found the perfect fit with Hanes.
And though we've changed how we look at details, from accessories to zippers,
One thing remains the same.
our great values.
And great values are what make us
JCPenney. Royal Caribbean. Paradise surrounds me. There's no place like this on land. All my cares, they're behind me. The world's in my command.
One cruise line has been named best in passenger satisfaction 10 years in a row. Royal Caribbean, the grand resorts of the seven seas.
Royal Caribbean.
The 64th Annual Academy Awards will continue in a moment.
From the imagination of George Lucas
I won't let you down.
comes a series of new adventures made especially for television
Who do we leave behind next, Major?
of one of the movie's most popular heroes, Indiana Jones.
If we leave him here, he'll die.
Give me that child. George Lucas presents the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles Wednesday.
You know, you're the first in the family to have this education.
Thanks to you, Grandpa.
What I know is not so much. But if someday maybe what they taught you here is not enough, remember this. What worked for me. Take good care of people, Tommy.
I will, Grandpa.
In a world where a bank is a bank, simple wisdom sets one bank apart. National City Bank. We take good care of our customers.
This is the best thing that I know.
Same, 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 same. Different, different. Same, 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 same. Different, different, different.
Arby's is the place for different. Like our 4 new subs, piled high with our delicious fresh sliced meats and served on hearth-baked deli rolls. If these aren't the best subs you've ever tasted after just one bite, you get your money back. So come to Arby's, or...
Say, Arby's is different.
Hey, different is good.
You want to know what reality is for me? Torture. All these incredible sports cars on the road, and I couldn't afford the sales tax on most of them.
Plymouth Laser. Now here's a performance car that competes in the real world. Check the lines, the feel, but check the price. The stunning dashboard, the high back buckets, everything about this car says performance, except the price. That's a real advantage for the real world. Now get $1,000 cash back at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
On the next Oprah, how to look fabulous when you're over 40.
The 64th Annual Academy Awards are being brought to you by JCPenney, now proudly celebrating their 90th anniversary. McDonald's, what you want is what you get at McDonald's today. AT&T, the right choice. And Diet Coke, there's just one, just for the taste. From Wayne's World, 2 new faces at the Oscars, Dana Carvey and Mike Myers.
Wow, here we are at the Academy Awards. How exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Well, it's pretty tingly all over. Imagine, this time next year, think about it, Mike. I mean, we could be standing right here accepting, an Oscar for Best Movie.
Not!
Okay. Okay, that's our shtick. Now, the nominees for a live-action short film are Birch Street Gym, Stephen Kessler and Thomas R. Conroy. Last Breeze of Summer, David M. Massey. Session Man, Seth Winston and Rob Freed.
And the Oscar goes to Session Man, Seth Winston and Rob Freed.
Well, thank you very much. I'd like to thank the members of the Academy, my mom and dad, and all my friends for their support over the past few years. I'd like to thank Jana Memel, Jonathan Sanger, Steve Hewitt, and Jim Miller at Showtime for giving me the opportunity to make this film. I'd like to thank Jim Gutterman, Rob Freed, my agent Victoria Wisdom, and everyone in the cast and crew. What we achieved together tonight is really something special. And I'd just like to say hi to my 2 children, Alexandra and Dashiell, who are watching in England live on the satellite where it's after 5 o'clock in the morning. So Alex, you might as well stay up all night. Thanks a lot.
I hope everybody gets a chance to see this movie when it plays next week on Showtime. I'd like to thank John Dolgen, Carrie Wood, Sharice Birch, Rich Zinman, Nancy Travis, Seth Winston, and Mom, I don't have time to read the speech, sorry. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot.
Okay.
I was about to blow chunks, sorry. Okay. To present the next award, 2 of our newest stars.
One's a beauty.
You know what? One's a beast.
And that's the only clue we're gonna give you.
Oh, there. So, have you seen any of tonight's nominees?
No, but I've read the books.
The nominees for animated short subject are Blackfly, Christopher Hinton.
Manipulation, Daniel Greaves.
Strings, Wendy Tilby.
And the Oscar goes to...
Ooh.
Hi.
What's he doing here?
Thanks. It was getting stuffy in there.
And the Oscar goes to Manipulation, Daniel Greaves.
I'd like to thank the following people: the Academy, the British Council, the great Spike and Mike, Sean, Barry and Jez for all their hard work, and lastly Nigel, Emily and my family for all their support. Thank you very much.
I can't believe that Beauty and the Beast is not up for Best Makeup. It's unbelievable, up close. To present the award for costume design is the leading lady of Ghost, St. Elmo's Fire, and the upcoming A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson and Tom Cruise. If you saw the Vanity Fair cover, who better to give out the costume design award than Demi Moore?
It takes a great leap of faith for someone to look at a series of drawings and believe these sketches will evolve into brilliant, historically accurate costumes that bring credibility to the characters and a sense of time and place. 5 costume designers who have made believers out of producers, directors, and moviegoers have been honored with this year's Oscar nominations. The offbeat Addams Family, dressed in Gothic tongue-in-cheek style by Ruth Myers. In Barton Fink, the look of Hollywood in the 30s as seen through the eye of the needle of Richard Hornig. Bugsy's gangster garb and Vegas glitz combine in the slick dressings of Albert Wolsky. Pirates, pixies, and assorted children of all ages parade in the garb of Hook's designer Anthony Powell. And the elegance of period France is translated intact to the modern screen in Madame Bovary by the artistry of Corinne Jory. And the Oscar goes to Albert Wolsky for Bugsy.
Thank you very much. I would be greatly remiss if I did not mention the wonderful contribution of my staff, headed by George Little and Colleen Passman, by my assistants, Cynthia Hamilton, by Marianne Fields, Dominic Girardi, Romano, who headed a brilliant group of craftsmen and workers who made all the costumes, and by the wonderful hair and makeup department. My great thanks to my actors, to my director, Barry Levinson, to our producers, Mark Johnson, Barry Levinson again, and Warren Beatty, who created elegant and impeccable taste and climate for us. And my deepest, deepest gratitude to a loving and supporting family and friends. Thank you very much.
To present the best foreign language film is a man who in 1976 wrote and starred in a little movie called Rocky that went on to win Best Picture and introduced the word yo to every language except Hebrew, where they read from right to left, which is why in Israel they say, "Oi, Adrian. Stop the hitting, stop hitting him. Oh, go the distance." Ladies and gentlemen, a great star, Mr. Sylvester Stallone.
Movies are not only theater, they're a classroom. They teach us geography and history, expose us to art and music, show us the nature of man, nature in the wild, which is too often the nature of man. Every country makes films, and we who make them learn a great deal from each other's work. No matter what language they speak or where they're made, the pure joy of movies is a universal experience. This year, the native product of 5 countries were nominated for the Best Foreign Language Film. They are, from Iceland, Children of Nature, Friedrich Thor Friedrichsen. From Czechoslovakia, the elementary school, Jan Sverak. From Italy, Mediterraneo, Gabriel Savatoris. From Sweden, the axe, Sven Nyquist. From Hong Kong, Raise the Red Lantern, Chung Yimou. And the winner is, and the Oscar goes to Italy for Mediterraneo, accepting the award, the film director Gabriel Savatoris.
So I'm sorry I don't speak English. Thank you for this great honor. Thank you for my producer, Gianni Minervini, and Penta, Vittorio Cecchigori. Thanks for all the people who make the movie. And an invitation, please do as like the soldier of Mediterranean. Please stop the wars, life is better. Thank you very much.
Oscar magic to come from the hands of Daryl Hannah, Spike Lee, and Liza Minnelli.
There's just one, and there's no mistaking it one. No way of faking it one.
Hello, Joe. What do you know?
There's just one more taste for that real attraction one. For the satisfaction one. Just for the feeling. Just for the taste. What calorie? Just you know, the moment you find it, just one with something behind it. This one's got a real good taste, yeah. There's just one.
All right, let's sample a bottle. And I'll make it 2. One for you and one for me.
Just for the taste.
Now we get wrong.
Diet Coke.
Like a rock. Every Chevy S10 Blazer gives you the security of 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, standard, which helps you steer through a curve while braking. Without it, you don't have as much control. And now get the security of S10 Blazer plus $1,000 cash back only from Chevrolet.
Like a rock.
Chevy trucks.
Stand an arrow straight.
The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last.
Dad, can I parachute out of my bedroom window?
No.
Can I grow a mustache?
No.
Can we go shark fishing?
No.
How about we...
No.
Dad, can I have a pet monkey?
No.
Oh, darn. Beekeeping!
No.
Dad,
What?
can we go to McDonald's?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Can I drive?
No.
Oh.
Ultima is color. Bold, expressive, provocative color. And Ultima is the natives. Neutral, timeless, sensuous color. For lips, eyes, face, and cheeks. In every shade of gorgeous. Ultima 2.
He won an Oscar nomination for Stand and Deliver and just made a terrific directorial debut in American Me. She was a star of Splash, Blade Runner, and Roxanne. Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl Hannah and Edward James Olmos.
You look beautiful, Daryl. Our category is achievement in sound. And of all the areas of filmmaking, perhaps the greatest strides have been made here.
You can't go much further than from complete silence in the early days to the remarkable multi-channel, multi-speaker setups found today in almost all movie houses.
The men and women who are in charge of the sound for film must balance the music, dialogue, and sound effects in a simple, seamless track. Here are 5 groups of sound specialists who have done outstanding work this year.
Gary Summers, Randy Tom, Gary Rydstrom, and Glenn Williams for Backdraft.
Terry Porter, Mel Metcalf, David J. Hudson, and Doc Kane for Beauty and the Beast.
Michael Minkler and Greg Landecker, Todd A. Maitland for JFK.
Tom Fleischman, Christopher Newman for The Silence of the Lambs.
Tom Johnson, Gary Rydstrom, Gary Summers, and Lee Orloff for Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
And the Oscar goes to
The Oscar goes to
Tom Johnson, Gary Rydstrom, Gary Summers, and Lee Orloff for Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Well, first of all, we'd like to thank the Academy, TriStar Pictures, Carol Co-Productions, Director Jim Cameron, and the people at Lightstorm Entertainment, BJ Rack, Stephanie Austin, and Pam Easley of T2 Productions, Gloria Borders, the supervising sound editor who put together the finest crew of sound editors and assistants on the planet, Tom Kobayashi and Kate Coombs at Skywalker Sound North, with its superb machine room crews, engineering, and post-production support staff. We'd also like to thank our parents, wives, children, and friends who have supported us over the years in a very demanding and unpredictable business like the one we're in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, members of the Academy. I'd like to thank my crew.
An actor of charm and depth, Mr. John Candy.
One of the most beloved stories of all time is Peter Pan. The James Barrie classic has undergone many treatments, going from story to stage play, to musical, to animated feature, to a film that projects the characters into their future. This last incarnation is called Hook, and one of the songs from that film has been nominated for Original Song. To present When You're Alone by John Williams and Leslie Bricusse, here's the girl who performed it in the film, Amber Scott.
And so, Goldilocks put on her Red Riding Hood, kissed the handsome prince in the glass slipper, climbed up the beanstalk with the 3 blind mice, and they all lived happily ever after. La-da-dee-da-da, 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 la-da-dee.
When you're all alone, far away from home, here's a gift the angels send. When you're alone,
Jack Palance is the father of all of these children. I just made that up. Here is an Oscar nominee for Big, a wonderfully talented, funny actor. Please say hello to Mr. Tom Hanks.
Thank you, almighty captain of show business. Just 2 weeks ago, the Academy's Board of Governors invited me to a full-tilt, bust-out, call-the-cops party at the Century Plaza Hotel, and it's a shame they didn't invite you. It may be all glamour and glitter here at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, but you have not lived until you have witnessed the Academy's scientific and technical awards up close and firsthand. Sylvester Stallone may be Hollywood's muscle, and Gina Davis certainly has the legs, but these men and women are truly the industry's backbone. Bob Stoker's non-toxic cobweb effects are a miracle of modern technology. Jim Doyle's dense, low-hanging fog has already revolutionized low-hanging fog. And believe me, Dr. Guido Cartoni's selectable and repeatable viscous drag modules in Harry Baker's full fluid action tripod heads make much better use of the compound silicone than is on display here this evening. I have lost the band. There was even one Oscar awarded 2 weeks ago. The Gordon E. Sawyer Award, it went to the pioneer wizard who created such seminal special effects as these. For his work, Ray Harryhausen was given a standing ovation as best-selling author Ray Bradbury presented him the award.
Thank you, and particularly to the Academy for this. I'm most grateful and honored, and to the Board of Governors for bestowing this upon me. Thank you so very much. It's most appreciated.
Oscar night is always an occasion to remind audiences and ourselves that movies are the result of the synergism of art and science. The Academy is proud to honor all of those whose efforts provide all of us with the joy of going to the movies. Thank you.
The excitement continues on Hollywood's Night of Nights with Richard Gere, Angelica Houston, and Shirley MacLaine.
In a world of
constant change, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential. Rock solid.
You're the end of the rainbow, my pot of gold, your daddy's little girl, heaven to hold, a precious gem is what you are, a ray of hope, a shining star, you're as bright as the sunshine, the morning's first light, you warm my day, brighten my night, your sugar, your spice, you're everything nice, and your daddy's little girl.
Don't the pictures of your lifetime deserve Kodak film?
So he said to me, I love your eyes. And I said, what about my sense of humor? That's what I said. What I did was rush out and buy lots more of that Almay eyeshadow. It's beautiful, it lasts, and it's really gentle in the sensitive area around our eyes. Now, if only he loved my jokes as much as my eyes. Almay, why would I use anything else? And why would you?
The 64th Annual Academy Awards will continue in a moment.
Tuesday, baby's on the way.
Raising a baby daughter is going to be the most wonderful experience of my life. She must have lost a lot of blood.
Roseanne. Then, the reviews are in. The Post called Room for Two the sitcom for the 90s.
This is the life, kid.
And the Star Ledger said it was warm, funny, wonderful.
Mom, it doesn't get any better than this.
The ratings are in, too. Room for Two is the highest rated premiere of any new show this year.
This is big, huh?
It's Linda Lavin in Room for Two following Roseanne, America's Funniest Moms, Tuesday.
This is a News Channel 5 News Brief.
Cleveland Mayor Michael White and the city's gang task force agree it is going to take interested parents to put gangs out of business. This follows the assault of 2 off-duty officers at Tower City.
A Euclid firefighter is talking today about the part of his weekend he spent locked up in the trunk of a car.
And former hostage Terry Anderson says he will come to Lorain for the parade this summer.
Good evening. We're going to have these stories and more on News Channel 5.
Right after the Oscars. Do join us.
This week, Ohio ends general assistance welfare. We'll look at the effects of a similar plan here in Michigan on killing welfare. Our cover story tonight at 11:15 on News Channel 5.
Recently,
Kathy, need your help down here.
Bank One banker Kathy Edmonds noticed that some of our customers weren't getting the service they needed.
How can I help you? A home improvement
So she took classes in American Sign Language.
Like a fixed rate?
Bank One bankers will do whatever it takes to help you get a loan. For Kathy Edmonds,
You're welcome.
it took learning a whole new language.
Mossman's backstage look at the Oscars.
Plus tax tips for working parents Tuesday.
To present our next awards, one was nominated for the screenplay of Do the Right Thing and has written, produced, directed, and starred in a number of feature films that have both been critical and commercial successes. The other has been nominated for Academy Awards in 2 major categories tonight and is the youngest director nominee in Academy history. Please welcome Spike Lee and John Singleton.
This is the 50th year the Academy has presented the Oscars of documentary films. On this anniversary, we want to honor not just this year's nominees, but hundreds of filmmakers who have, through the years, forged a great documentary tradition.
Their subjects range from the world of nature to the world of art, but most importantly, they record our common aspirations, our common concerns, and our common humanity.
Not to mention our common conflicts. It was one of them, World War II, that inspired the Academy to begin honoring the often unsung heroes, and heroines of our profession.
Since then, as we'll see in this montage, made up of Academy-nominated films, Nothing in the life and times has escaped our eyes or lenses of these, our recording angels.
If I get shot, they can't shoot the Union out of me.
We shall not be moved.
Will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
And these are the nominees for documentary, feature length that follow in the footsteps of the previous winners.
Death on the Job, Vince Dispersio and William Goodentag, producers. Doing Time, Life Inside the Big House, Alan Raymond and Susan Raymond, producers. In the Shadow of the Stars, Ali Light and Irvin Seraph, producers. The Restless Conscience, Havna Kohav Velya, producer. Wild by Law, Lawrence Hott and Diane Garvey, producers.
And the Oscar goes to In the Shadow of the Stars, Ali Light
and Irvin Seraph.
Ours is a documentary about the lives of singers, but we can't carry a tune. In fact, I think I'm about speechless. I want to thank the Academy. I want to thank our distributor, First Run Features. I want to thank all the people who worked with us on this film for the years that it took to make, especially our principal cinematographer, Michael Chin, and our sound recordist, Sarah Chin. I want to thank the wonderful community of San Francisco that is so supportive of independent filmmakers. The Film Arts Foundation, with its 2,200 members. Robert Hawke, Gail Silva, and Julie McAman, the leaders. I want to thank Monaco Lab, who were so kind to us. Saul Zantz and his company, who were wonderfully kind to us. I want to thank the San Francisco Opera Company, Pat Mitchell, who opened the door for us, believed in us from the very beginning when we didn't have anything, Lotfi Mansouri, who now guides the Opera Company. But mostly, I want to thank the men and women of the San Francisco Opera Chorus who opened their lives to us and made this film possible. And I want to dedicate this Oscar to all the people in the chorus everywhere. And
Adio, Chaz, to you too, in memory.
Our next category is documentary short subject, which means a film that is less than 30 minutes in length.
And the nominations are Bird Nesters of Thailand, a.k.a. Shadowhunters, Eric Valley and Alan Mejani producers. Deadly Deception, General Electric, Nuclear Weapons and Our Environment, Deborah Chasnoff, producer. Little Vicious, Emmy Humes, producer. The Mark of the Maker, David McGowan, producer. Memorial, Letters from American Soldiers, Bill Couturier and Bernard Edelman, producers.
The Oscar goes to... It's out. And the Oscar goes to Deadly Deception, General Electric, Nuclear Weapons in Our Environment, Deborah Chasnoff, producer.
I want to share this wonderful honor tonight with INFACT, the national organization that is campaigning to get General Electric and all other companies out of the deadly nuclear weapons industry. INFACT supporters all over the world helped us tell the real story about the company that falsely claims it brings good things to life. I was very fortunate to work with a talented production crew, including cinematographer Fawn Yacker and editor Joan Lefkowitz. Finally, I'm very grateful to my friends and family, particularly to Kim Klausner, my life partner, who always had faith in me, and to our son Noah, who reminds me on a daily basis of why it's so important not to give up and to keep working for peace and justice. Thank you very much, and boycott GE.
In 1979, she won an Oscar for Best Actress for Norma Ray. In 1984, Places in the Heart, Best Actress. Please welcome two-time Oscar winner, Miss Sally Field.
For the first time in the history of these rights, a feature-length film has been nominated as Best Picture even though no actor appears on the screen. We members of the Screen Actors Guild hope this doesn't become a trend. Though it is a splendid example of state-of-the-art animation, the film also contains the dramatic structure, charm, and even subtext that are essential to great storytelling in any form. All that, plus a wonderful musical score, combined to earn Oscar recognition for the eternal tale of Beauty and the Beast. Here now. Oh, don't do that. Just hold still.
That hurts!
If you'd hold still, it wouldn't hurt as much.
Well, if you hadn't have run away, this wouldn't have happened.
If you hadn't frightened me, I wouldn't have run away.
Well, you shouldn't have been in the West Wing.
Well, you should learn to control your temper. Now hold still. This might sting a little. By the way, thank you for saving my life.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Gere.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi there. I just wanted to remind you again what this meant here, this red ribbon is in sympathy of AIDS victims all over the world. And since this is going to countries all over the world, I think an appropriate thing to think about is what can you do about it, which is in these day and age when defense budgets are shrinking, we could take some of that defense money and put it into AIDS research. I think we do it in our own country. So you can actually call and write your congressman and senator, and they do listen if they get that note from you, so please send it. Films can be made without scripts, sets, directors, special effects, or the man who makes the coffee. A movie can even be made without actors. But so far, no one can make one without cinematographers. Tonight, I'd like to dedicate the award for cinematography to the memory of Nestor Almendros. Nestor is quite an extraordinary man and DP, one of the great ones in the history of cinema. And his first American film was in 1978, I think it was, 79. And he won an Oscar for that film, which is also my first film, Days of Heaven, en français, Moisson du ciel. Now, the nominees for cinematography are, don't open it yet, Alan Davio for Bugsy, Robert Richardson for JFK, Stephen Goldblatt for Prince of Tides, hi Stephen, Adam Greenberg for Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and Adrian Biddle for Thelma and Louise. And the Oscar goes to, very exciting, Robert Richardson for JFK. All right, the Academy wants to congratulate Robert Richardson, and I will accept it on his behalf. He's not here tonight. Thank you very much.
One of my ambitions is to stick around long enough so I can get birthday greetings from Willard Scott. And we have a true pioneer in our audience tonight who rates greetings from everybody who ever laughed out loud in a theater. His name is synonymous with the pure joy of movies like the comedies of Laurel and Hardy, Harold Lloyd, Our Gang. Well, here, let's take a look.
There you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, this giant of the film business is with us tonight. He's 100 years old. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Hal Roach. Now, Mr. Roach, I have a little surprise for you. You may think that we've never met. Oh, is he? Right. There's no microphone over there. Mr. Roach is thanking the audience, I'm sure, for their warm wishes. think that's fitting because Mr. Roach started in silent films. I went to the split finger on that. Went right to the split finger. Mr. Roach, you and I have never met. You may think, but when I first came to Hollywood, I did a movie for you. It was with Laurel and Hardy. We showed a little clip of it, Way Out West, made in 1939. I may look young, I've had a lot of work. Please take a look at this clip. We shot 2 days, and I was cut from the finished product, but here's my favorite time in movies, the time I got to work with Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy.
Patrick Swayze, Robert Duvall, and Elizabeth Taylor are among those who will continue when the Academy Awards continue.
That was me, Tommy Lasorda, before I lost 30 pounds in 3 months on the Ultra Slim Fast plan. It's even easier to have my shake because Ultra Slim Fast comes ready to drink in cans. Losing weight has never been so convenient. Wherever I am, I can have my shake. Ah, icy cold and delicious. Who says you can't take it with you?
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
When you've got something precious to carry, this is one way to do it. Here's another. Chevy Lumina Euro Sedan. Engineered with four-wheel independent suspension and standard anti-lock brakes. It's one way to help make sure your precious cargo is delivered safely. Chevrolet, the cars more people depend on. And now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
And Tracy, no boys.
Yes, Mrs. Swindle.
I like the way you make me dance. I like the funny things you do. You got a style of your own.
The tickets.
The tickets. The tickets. And Tracy, scrape the cheese off the ceiling.
I like this right in you. Royal Caribbean. Turquoise seas surround you. Gentle breezes come to play. Our Caribbean calls you. Where your cares just melt away.
Outstanding service. One reason we're the world's largest cruise line. Royal Caribbean, the grand resorts of the seven seas.
Royal Caribbean.
Wednesday. A town torn apart.
I'm not afraid of those hooligans.
Friend against friend.
One step forward, two steps back.
Family against family.
If anything happens to your sister, I will never forgive you.
The law is on our side.
The law says we have to come in and get you out, which we will do.
You're the only person both of them will listen to.
Now, fate rests on the head of a small child.
She's taking a baby in there!
Home front.
Let's hold them hostage.
Wednesday.
Our next two presenters are the first mother-daughter team ever nominated, if you don't count Faye Dunaway in Chinatown. She's my sister, she's my daughter, she's my sister, she's my daughter, she's my blood. Rent it. So here they are, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Diane Ladd and Laura Dern.
Mommy? Hi, Laura.
My daughter thanks you. It says it, Laura.
Oh, we have lines. And my mother thanks you.
How gratifying it is to contribute to the movies. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our privilege to share with you how gratifying it is, because only in the movies is our grasp equal to our imaginations.
Today, there is nothing that cannot be made visual. The teams of artists and engineers who create our visual effects are limited only by budget.
Given enough time and enough money, there is nothing they cannot bring to the screen. The 3 films nominated this year are spectacular proofs of that proud boast.
The nominees are Backdraft. Nominees Mikhail Salomon, Alan Hall, Clay Pinney, and Scott Farrar digitally composited a quarter-scale model with live-action segments filmed on a large rooftop set, but with huge trap doors rigged to collapse. All this had to be timed and coordinated perfectly to achieve this spectacular visual effect.
In Hook, a grown-up Peter Pan is able to fly again thanks to the wizardry of Eric Breivik, Harley Jessup, Mark Sullivan, and Michael Lantieri. They utilized the blue screen process with a mechanical flying rig and an elaborate combination of computer graphics and manipulated matte paintings to create these truly wondrous flying scenes.
Terminator 2's fearsome liquid metal killing machine was created by using computer-generated images and digital image processing. Live-action production footage was scanned frame by frame in a computer. The results, an amazing example of the morphing technique by nominees Dennis Muren, Stan Winston, Gene Warren Jr., and Robert Skotak.
And the Oscar goes to... Laura, you open it.
The Oscar goes to Dennis Muren, Stan Winston, Gene Warren Jr., and Robert Skotak. Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Thanks to everyone at Industrial Light and Magic, and especially my incredible computer graphic team. To Janet Healy, Mark DePay, my wife Zara Gregory, and Gwendolyn, and especially Jim Cameron.
John, Shane, Richard, Matt, Debbie, and the genius, Jim Cameron.
My partner, Leslie Huntley, and the great crew at Fantasy 2, and the vision of Jim Cameron.
And my dear partner, Elaine Edford, my wonderful brother, cinematographer Dennis Skotak, all the great team at Forward, and to Jim Cameron, who's got to get one of these soon.
Someday. Jim Cameron.
Here is a star of Dirty Dancing and Ghosts, and a former sexiest man alive. How many are there? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Patrick Swayze.
During the days of silent films, theaters used music to great effect to underscore the action and the emotion on the screen. And every theater in the country had a resident orchestra in the pit, an organ backstage, or at least a piano in the wings to accompany the films. But the end of silent films didn't mean the end of movie music. Tonight, the Academy recognizes this by presenting a sample of the 5 nominated scores. They will serve as underscore for a series of dance impressions. This work was choreographed by Debbie Allen, who also did such a wonderful job on last year's Oscars. And no wonder she was my mom's student. The music will be supplied by our orchestra under the direction of Academy Award winner, Maestro Bill Conti. Here are the nominees for original score. Way to go, Debbie. Once again, the nominees for this award are Alan Menken for Beauty and the Beast, Ennio Morricone for Bugsy, George Fenton for The Fisher King, John Williams for JFK, James Newton Howard for The Prince of Tides. And the Oscar goes to Alan Menken for Beauty and the Beast.
On behalf of all the composers, I want to thank Debbie Allen for that. That was just great. I'd like to thank the members of the Academy, in particular the members of the music branch, for this honor. At Disney, I want to thank Jeffrey Katzenberg, Roy Disney, Peter Schneider, our producer Don Hahn, our directors Kirk Wise and Gary Trousdale, and our brilliant animators. And I can't say enough about my music team, my orchestrator Danny Trube, conductor David Friedman, recording engineers John Richards, Michael Farrow, Bruce Botnick. Many thanks to the Disney Music Department, Chris Montan, Andy Hill, my music editor Kathy Bennett. My love and thanks to Janice, Anna, and Nora, my mom and dad, and my manager Scott Shukat. And most of all, I thank my late partner and friend, Howard Ashman. Howard, I wish you could have seen the finished product. I wish you could have heard the completed score. I know you would have been proud. Thank you.
Here is the movie's ambassador to Washington and the world, Mr. Jack Valenti.
It was one of the wittier occupants of the Oval Office, President John F. Kennedy, who once said that a committee was 12 people doing the work of one. It's my good fortune to know one person who does the work of 12, does the work of one. I would like to say that she is widely admired all over the world. She's a great beauty, she's a great actress, and she's a great humanitarian. My friend is the former Academy Award winner, and she spends her time now traveling the globe with untiring efforts to help feed and clothe and educate and give medical care to hopeless and helpless children all over the world. I might add, she's also the woman in whose honor the word elegant was first coined. How fortunate you are, and how fortunate I am to present to you this evening Miss Audrey Hepburn.
This year, the Academy Board of Governors has voted to award an honorary Oscar to the great Indian filmmaker Satyajit Ray. Mr. Ray has been making films for almost 4 decades. The Academy recognizes Mr. Ray's rare mastery of the art of motion pictures and of his profound humanism, which has had an indelible influence on filmmakers and audiences throughout the world. He has said that he aims to capture both what is unique in the Indian experience and that which is universal. This montage begins where Mr. Ray began, with his very first film, Pata Panchali, the masterpiece that established his international reputation. It's the story of a little boy named Apu, his awakening to the world and his growing up in it. Over the course of 3 films, he will, like Mr. Ray himself, move outward from this village to encounter the thronging and mysterious world that is India.
হাতে চেয়ে হাত তালি জামা চেয়ে হাত তালি এর হাতে ওর হাতে মিলে তালি আরেক হবে 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 গান হবে ঢোল হবে সুর হবে তাল হবে লয় হবে লোকে শুনে দেওয়া
Unfortunately, Mr. Rai is not well and cannot be with us tonight, but he is able to speak with us from his hospital room in Calcutta.
Well, it's been an extraordinary experience for me to be here tonight to receive this magnificent award, certainly the best achievement of my movie-making career. As a small schoolboy, I was terribly interested in the cinema, became a film fan, wrote to Deanna Durbin, got a reply, was delighted, wrote to Ginger Rogers, didn't get a reply. Then, of course, I got interested in the cinema as an art form, and I wrote a 12-page letter to Billy Wilder after seeing Double Indemnity. He didn't reply either. Well, there you are. But I have learned everything I've learned about the craft of cinema from the making of American films. I've been watching American films very carefully over the years, and I love them for what they entertained, and then later loved them for what they taught. So I express my gratitude to the American cinema, to the Motion Picture Association, who given me this award and who made me so proud. Thank you very, very much.
Stay tuned for Michael Douglas, Kevin Costner, more stars in music.
Last year, the average price of a car with standard anti-lock brakes was over $40,000. But today, all that's changed. Because the company that offers more models with standard anti-lock brakes than anyone also offers the lowest priced car in America with standard anti-lock brakes. Chevy Cavalier.
The heartbeat of America.
The cars more people depend on.
That's today's Chevrolet.
In a world of sweeping changes, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential Rock Solid.
I don't believe in the path of least resistance.
I believe babe is a four-letter word.
I believe sweat is sexy.
I believe the thinner the air gets, the clearer your head gets.
I don't believe in liposuction.
I don't believe that one size fits all.
I believe 70 is a long way from over.
I believe in cowboys. I believe that the person who said winning isn't everything never won anything.
I can't deal with
hairy
I believe you should go big or stay home.
I don't believe blondes have more fun.
Mass transit. I believe in howling at the moon.
I believe construction workers wear their pants like that on purpose.
I believe there's an athlete in all of us.
The 64th Annual Academy Awards will continue in a moment.
The press is calling it incredible, impeccably written, deliciously slick.
Well, we're going away on our first trip together. We'll be sharing a room and a bed.
Hot plans, cold feet.
What are you saying? You don't want to go?
Of course I want to go.
I don't want to go.
Civil Wars, Tuesday.
I love you.
I love you too.
The new Q104. Why did you make the switch?
Hey, if I could custom design my own radio station, Q104 would be it.
104 has the best variety. Less talk, no rap. They play a lot more music than anybody else.
Yeah, better variety, too.
The new Q104.
It's my kind of music. It's from the 80s and today.
So, where do you scratch off your instant game ticket? Yes, Ohio Lottery instant games. As many ways to win as you've got ways to scratch.
Good health has a good name called
Land O'Lakes, spread the sweet green. Lower in fat and cholesterol free.
Good health has a good taste called
Land O'Lakes, spread the sweet green. Just one taste and you know what we mean.
Good health,
yeah.
Good taste,
well,
good name.
Land O'Lakes, spread the sweet cream.
Behind the scenes look at the Oscars tomorrow on Live on 5.
The 64th Annual Academy Awards are being brought to you by Eastman Kodak Company, Royal Caribbean, one very awarded cruise line, Chevrolet, the cars and trucks more people depend on, and Revlon, the most unforgettable women in the world wear Revlon.
This just in, Jack Palance has won the New York State primary. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony winner and two-time Oscar winner, Mr. John Lithgow.
Would you like to see a movie with me? Here's a gripping bit from the fourth, nominated for Best. It's a knuckle-whitening story of a woman's frantic search for a serial killer. The FBI rookie, played by Jodie Foster, risks her own life when she enlists the help of a monstrous sociopath, chillingly played by Anthony Hopkins, in The Silence of the Lambs.
It's your turn to tell me, Clarice. You don't have any more vacations to sell. Why did you leave that ranch?
Doctor, we don't have any more time for any of this now.
But we don't reckon time the same way, do we, Clarice? This is all the time you'll ever have.
Later. Now, please listen to me. We've only got 5...
No. I will listen now. After your father's murder, you were orphaned. You were 10 years old. You went to live with cousins on a sheep and horse ranch in Montana. And
one morning, I just ran away.
not just, Clarice. What set you off? You started at what time?
Early. It's still dark.
Then something woke you, didn't it? Was it a dream? What was it?
I heard a strange noise.
What was it?
What was it? Tremendous. For a second, it sounds a little bit like Paul Tsongas. Just a little. Can I do it? I mean, I'm not going to get a chance to do my Paul Tsongas. Paul Tsongas has Hannibal Lecter. So I ate his liver with some fava beans. It's not bad. And a nice Chianti. You know, they're going to do a sequel. Is that true? They're doing a sequel, Ms. Hopper? Yes. And here are some titles that they've been working with, and see, pick out your favorite. Hannibal and His Sisters, not bad. Last of the Red Hot Livers. Miss Thigone. Oh, come on, I'm tired. A Chorus Loin. And a new television series may come out of this called The Flesh Prince of Bel-Air. And a Broadway musical, The Inedible Molly Brown. No, don't even finish them. Let's move on. This talented man has been everybody from Tom Hagen to the great Santini. She's been a member of famous families from the Pritzies to the Adamses, and of course, her own. Please welcome Academy Award winners Robert Duvall and Angelica Houston.
Ask any producer, director, actor, or writer, especially a writer. A truly good screenplay is very hard to come by, either on paper, in a word processor, or a writer's mind. It is an art that demands imagery and mobility and wit and passion. And when they all come together, a screenplay is a thing of beauty.
Hear, hear, the lady knows whereof she speaks. And the pictures nominated for the Best Original Screenplay this year are John Singleton for Boys in the Hood, James Toback for Bugsy, Richard LaGravenese for The Fisher King, Lawrence and Meg Kasdan for Grand Canyon, and Callie Curry for Thelma and Louise.
And the Oscar goes to Callie Curry for Thelma and Louise.
Hi. Well, for everybody that wanted to see a happy ending for Thelma and Louise, to me, this is it. I have a lot of people I want to thank, so I'll get started. Ridley, I couldn't thank you in 45 years, much less 45 seconds, so I won't try now. Gina and Susan, I think you've made the world a better place for those performances. I love you. I want to thank my husband, who helped me so much in ways that I could never tell him, and it wasn't by being like Daryl. He wasn't he wasn't the model for any of the characters. In fact, my brother was. I'm just kidding. I really want to thank my mother, who taught me everything about love and loyalty that a gal could ever need to know, and all my friends and family. Thank you. Thanks.
To adapt a screenplay from an existing work is an even more demanding discipline than writing an original. The conscientious adapter tries to please himself or herself as well as the author of the original book or play or story. And if you can't do that, at least please the producer who gave him the job.
Sometimes the writer who wrote the original is also one who does the adaptation, as are two of this year's nominees. All of the nominees for Best Screenplay based on material previously produced or published are Agnieszka Holland for Europa Europa, based on the memoirs of Salomon Perel. Fanny Flagg and Karol Sobieski for Fried Green Tomatoes, based on the novel Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe by Fanny Flagg. Oliver Stone and Zachary Sklar for JFK, based on the books On the Trail of the Assassins by Jim Garrison and Crossfire, the plot that killed Kennedy by Jim Mars. Pat Conroy and Becky Johnson for The Prince of Tides, based on the novel by Pat Conroy. Ted Talley for The Silence of the Lambs, based on the novel by Thomas Harris.
And the Oscar goes to Ted Talley for The Silence of the Lambs.
Thank you to the Academy for recognizing me among such distinguished colleagues. You can't reach for one of these without standing on the shoulders of giants. And my own particular giants are Tom Harris, who so graciously lent me his brilliant novel, and Jonathan Demme, a director of awesome talent and generosity and one of the finest men I've ever known. My heartfelt admiration and gratitude to both of those gentlemen. Thanks also to Jodie Foster, Tony Hopkins, Scott Glenn, for their astonishing performances, and to the extraordinary family of artists and craftsmen who so honored my work with their own. Thanks to my producers, Ed Saxon, Kenneth Utt, Ron Bozeman, Gary Getzman, to the executives and staff of Orion Pictures, past and present, for their spectacular support. To my inspiring agents, Arlene Donovan and Patty Detroit, and thanks most of all to my teachers, my friends, and to my wonderful and loving family, a prize beyond measure. Melinda, Austin, I love you. All good things to those who wait. Thank you.
The Academy Award winner last year for Best Actress, Ms. Kathy Bates.
Five remarkably gifted men were nominated as actors in a leading role. Here they are. Warren Beatty in Bugsy.
Get away with it? Did you think you could steal from me? From Maya Lansky, Charlie Luciano, and me? And get away with it? That you could rape us and humiliate us and get away with that?
Robert De Niro in Cape Fear.
I sent you to the ninth circle of hell. There you will learn about loss. Loss of freedom. Loss of humanity.
Anthony Hopkins in The Silence of the Lambs.
Once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Nick Nolte in The Prince of Tides.
We talked about it.
This is my life, too. My life is private. I want to keep it private.
Even at the expense of helping your own daughter?
Stop exaggerating.
Oh, come on, Mama. Don't make me feel bad about this. You know, I didn't even have to tell you.
I don't want to talk about this.
I know that's always been the problem.
Robin Williams in The Fisher King.
What?
I just would like to help you.
$50.
All right, here, look. Here's another 20.
You're so nice, Jack. Hey, can I take you to lunch, huh?
And the Oscar goes to Anthony Hopkins in The Silence of the Lambs.
My God. I can't believe it. I
This is really unexpected. It's a great honor to be here, especially with such great actors like Nick Nolte and Warren Beatty and Robin Williams, Robert De Niro. First of all, before I say that, I want to say hello to my mother. She's in Wales watching this on television with Eve and Jean and Jill and Tony. My father died 11 years ago tonight, so maybe he had something to do with this as well, I don't know. But I want to say thank you to the Academy for your tremendous generosity, to my friend Bob Palmer, my friend and publicist, my dear beloved wife, Jenny. And I have many people to thank here in Los Angeles who, over the years, have given me tremendous support, without whose help I wouldn't be here, I know. And I am greatly honored and tremendously moved. And God bless you all. Thank you very much.
After these messages, the Oscar parade will continue with Celine Dion, Peabo Bryson, and Paul Newman. Relive all the excitement, the glamour, the fun, and the emotion of 21 years of Oscar's greatest moments. Available now worldwide wherever videos are sold. Proceeds to the Academy benefit the Center for Motion Picture Study.
America loves its body. America loves its shine. America loves its scent. Loves it every time. America loves its Flex.
Millions of women in a shampoo and conditioner called Flex. Revlon Flex. For 20 years, the shampoo and conditioner millions of women love and use. And that means millions of kids, men, and families love Flex too.
America loves its Flex.
At JCPenney, we've changed clothes.
From head to toe,
Top to bottom.
collar to cuff.
We've changed looks. We've changed.
JCPenney. We've changed patterns and changed colors. We've gotten lighter and brighter.
We've changed. JCPenney.
Younger.
And bolder.
Smaller.
And taller.
We've collected more classics, added more accessories, and broadened the basics.
We've changed our fabrics and changed our footwear.
Our brands have a brand new look.
We've added sports shirts
to sports shirts,
underwear
to underwear. And while we may have changed from our hats to our heels,
one thing remains the same.
Our great values.
And great values are what make us.
Some trucks don't know when to quit.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
Over 98% of all the Chevy trucks sold in the past 10 years are still on the job. Chevy trucks.
Like a rock.
The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last.
This year's final nominated song, it's the last one, is the title number from Beauty and the Beast. It will be sung by Angela Lansbury, Celine Dion, and Peabo Bryson, and interpreted by Kevin Jeff and Cynthia Gregory, with cameo appearances by Ed Asner, Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, John Candy, and Joe Pesci. Ladies and gentlemen, the fifth nominated song, written by Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, Beauty and the Beast.
As old as time, true as it can be, barely even friends, then somebody bends unexpectedly. Just a little change, small to say the least, both a little scared, neither one prepared. Beauty and the Beast, ever just the same, ever a surprise, ever as before, ever just as sure as the sun will rise.
Certain as the sun,
certain as the sun,
rising in the east,
tell us all this time,
song as old as mine,
beauty and the
Beast, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, beauty and the Beast.
beauty and the
Beast. Beauty and the
If you don't actually experience it, there is no way to describe the feeling of having your name called when the presenter opens the envelope and reads what is written on the card. Our next two presenters know what it's like to be in that position. They may not remember the actual announcement or how they managed to get on stage and up to the microphone to accept the Oscar. They may not remember whom they thanked or forgot to thank, or what they said, or even who handed them the award. Boy, this is long. But they know for sure it really happened. And then, like, did it not happen? And then it did? Could this, like, be, like, so crazy? Like, I didn't write this. And then the next morning there was, like, and, like, there was this, like, bald? What is this? Holding a sword in their room who wasn't there the night before? What did that mean? It was, no, it wasn't that good, but that's what was there. Okay. Didn't inhale. One. Come on. And I made believe I had a good time. Right. Not one earned her Oscar for Cabaret, and the other got hers for Terms of Endearment. Two of Oscar's chosen few, Liza Minnelli and Shirley MacLaine.
Thank you. We've now heard and seen all 5 of the selected nominations for original score. They have all come from 3 different films, but each of those films has something in common.
They made a lot of money.
Something else.
Well, they all deal with romantic subjects.
Something else.
We weren't in any of them?
Yes. So, Liza, why don't you and I and some other real-life human beings next year get together and make a musical of our own?
All right.
Yes.
You know, we should get that other buddy of ours. I mean, that, you know, the singer, the actress. That girl over there, the funny girl.
The director.
Right.
The director that we would most like to work with. Some other life. Now. This year, the nominees for original song are
From Beauty and the Beast, music by Alan Menken, lyric by Howard Ashman.
From Beauty and the Beast, Belle, music by Alan Menken, lyric by Howard Ashman.
From Beauty and the Beast, Be Our Guest, music by Alan Menken, lyric by Howard Ashman.
From Robin Hood, Prince of the Thieves, Everything I Do It For You, music by Michael Kamen, lyric by Bryan Adams and Robert John Lang.
From Hook, When You're Alone, music by John Williams, lyric by Leslie Bricusse.
The Oscar goes to Alan Menken and Howard Ashman for Beauty and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
On behalf of Howard, I know if he were here, he'd want to thank Angela Lansbury for her incomparable performance of the song in the movie as Mrs. Potts, and also Celine Dion and Peabo Bryson for their performance. Also thanks to Walter A. and Robbie Buchanan for their work on the single. And accepting for Howard will be Bill Lauk.
Thanks, Alan. Howard and I shared a home and a life together, and I'm very happy and very proud to accept this for him. But it is bittersweet. This is the first Academy Award given to someone we've lost to AIDS. In working on Beauty and the Beast, Howard faced incredible personal challenges, but always gave his best. And what made that possible was an atmosphere of understanding, love, and support. That's something everyone facing AIDS not only needs, but deserves. There's an inscription at Howard's grave in Baltimore. It reads, "Oh, that he had one more song to sing." We'll never hear that song, but I'm deeply grateful for this tribute you've given to what he left behind. For Howard, I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Douglas.
In sports, athletes can determine who's best by marking who runs faster, jumps higher, hits harder, and makes the highest scores, or in golf, the lowest. But in art, who's to determine that a Van Gogh oil is better than a Picasso charcoal? And in music, a Strauss waltz is better than a Gershwin ballad, and in food, that beef Wellington is better than a cup of yogurt. You know, maybe we went a little too far. But in acting, who says one's performance is better than another? The Actors Branch of the Academy, as always, nominated 5 gifted women. And as always, the agonizing final decision was left to our entire membership. The nominees are Gina Davis in Thelma and Louise.
No thanks. I'll have a wild turkey straight up and a Coke back, please. Thelma. Oh, what? Tell me something. Is this my vacation or isn't it? I mean, God, you're as bad as Daryl. You said your meal's gonna get out of town and for once just really let our hair down? Well, darling, look out, because my hair is coming down.
Laura Dern in Rambling Rose.
You're very nice, but like your mama said, there's an evil streak in you.
There's an evil streak in everybody, Rose.
There ain't none in your daddy.
Jodie Foster in The Silence of the Lambs.
I was so scared to look inside, but I had to.
What did you see, Clarice? What did you see?
Lambs. They were screaming.
Bette Midler in For the Boys.
My life. I made something in my life. I gave birth to him. I nursed him. And they massacred him. For what? For honor. I want my son back.
Susan Sarandon in Thelma and Louise.
In the future, when a woman's crying like that, she isn't having any fun.
And the Oscar goes to Jodie Foster, The Silence of the Lambs.
This has been such an incredible year, and I'd like to dedicate this award to all of the women who came before me who never had the chances that I've had, and the survivors and the pioneers and the outcasts, and my blood, my tradition. And I'd like to thank all of the people in this industry who have respected my choices and who have not been afraid of the power and the dignity that that entitled me to. And I'd like to thank Ted Talley and Thomas Harris, Jesse Kornbluth, everybody at Orion the way it used to be and the way it will always be in my heart. John Douglas and everybody at Quantico, the incredible cast and crew of Silence of the Lambs that Jonathan put together, and of course, the reason that I'm here, Anthony Hopkins, quid pro quo doctor, and my guru, Jonathan Demme, not just for his talent, but for his goodness, I promise you. And I'd like to thank my team of people, the only people I talk to every single day. My agent and friend, Joe Funicello, thank you. And Matt Saver, Pat Kingsley. I'd like to thank my family and my family of friends, the trusted ones, the circle. And most of all, I'd like to thank my mother, Brandy, my friend, the person who has loved me so much and so well that she taught me in inimitable little man Tate fashion to fly away. Thank you. And thank the Academy for embracing such an incredibly strong and beautiful feminist hero that I am so proud of. Thank you very much. Mike and Carol, you won the bet. Right on.
The winner of the 64th Academy Awards hotly contested race for Best Director will be revealed after the following.
It's about the kind of foods you want today. It's giving you and your budget the break you deserve. And it's treating you just the way you want to be treated. It's what you want. It's what you get at McDonald's today.
What you want is what you get. Every day in every way. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. What you want is what you get. Every day in every way. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
At today's McDonald's, there's a commitment to giving you just what you want.
At McDonald's today.
Royal Caribbean. Paradise surrounds me.
There's no place like this on land. All my cares, they're behind me. The world's in my command.
One cruise line has been named best in passenger satisfaction 10 years in a row. Royal Caribbean, the grand resorts of the seven seas.
Royal Caribbean.
It is from Kodak. It delivers the highest resolution. Microfine grain. Superior image structure. For ultra-sharp detail. It is called Ektar. Ektar Film by Kodak. The genius is in the details. Ektar Film now comes in a new cartonless package in 25, 100, and 1,000 speeds.
The 64th Annual Academy Awards will continue in a moment.
Tuesday, the reviews are in. The Post called Room for Two the sitcom for the 90s.
This is the life, kid.
And the Star Ledger said it was warm, funny, wonderful.
Mom, it doesn't get any better than this.
The ratings are in, too. Room for Two is the highest-rated premiere of any new show this year.
This is big, huh?
Linda Lavin stars in Room for Two, Tuesday.
Crave the taste. Crave the good times. Hear the crunch. That crunch is calling you. It's so great. Can't wait. Taste those toppings. There's no stopping. Stouffer's Pizza. Nothing comes closer to home.
When the pizza crunch craving hits, there's only one place to head. Home for Stouffer's French bread pizza.
Stouffer's. Nothing comes closer to home.
The average American mother has 2.3 kids. One pet lifts 630 pounds, runs 17 errands, and spends 1.5 hours a day in a motor vehicle. Right now, your Chrysler Plymouth dealers are offering Plymouth Voyager with a family value package for under $14,900. For those who understand that every day is Mother's Day. Real advantages for the real world at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Mossman's backstage look at the Oscars.
Plus tax tips for working parents Tuesday.
One of the cinema's most distinguished artists, Miss Jessica Tandy.
Now for this next bit of film, the last of the nominees for Best Picture, I promised the Academy not to reveal which one I voted for. But when Gil Cates asked me to introduce one, I chose the one directed by a very talented lady. And why she wasn't nominated for... Oh, well, never mind. The Prince of Tides is an exploration of the complexity of relations among a tortured family. The search for their secrets is in the moving adaptation of Pat Conroy's best-selling novel of a South Carolina football coach with a crumbling marriage who meets a New York psychiatrist with a marriage in crumbs.
I don't know when my parents began their war against each other.
You're running too fast for me. Move it!
But I do know the only prisoners they took were their children.
Wait, you guys, the shoes are falling off. Keep up, Savannah.
When my brother, sister, and I needed to escape, we developed a ritual. We found a silent, soothing world where there was no pain. A world without mothers or fathers. We would make a circle bound by flesh and blood and water. And only when we felt our lungs betray us would we rise toward the light. And the fear of what lay in wait for us about the surface.
The last 3 years, this man has starred in a movie nominated for Best Picture. Last year, he not only starred in it, but he produced and directed the year's Best Picture, and he won Oscars for both. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Costner.
Thank you. With the glory of being nominated, it's important to note that there was a time in the making of each of these movies when all those surrounding the director thought that he was doing it absolutely wrong. It is the nature of directing to be second-guessed. It's the nature of the director to wonder if anyone will care about the things that he has cared about for so long. We do care, and tonight's nominations are the clearest signal that we could send to you. I almost opened that thing. The nominees are John Singleton for Boys in the Hood, Barry Levinson for Bugsy, Oliver Stone for JFK, Jonathan Demme for Silence of the Lambs, Ridley Scott for Thelma and Louise. And the Oscar goes to Jonathan Demme for Silence of the Lambs.
Well, in the context of my movie-loving life, this is very unanticipated. It's the only way I can really understand this is to recognize that I had the great good fortune to have a chance to work with Ted Tally's great adaptation of Thomas Harris's extraordinarily moral and amazing book, and to have the good fortune to work with the likes of Tak Fujimoto and Christy Zia, Craig McKay and Tommy Fleischman and Chris Newman and Howard Shore and Howard Fuhr and Billy Miller and everybody. And also to be able to work with such an ensemble cast of actors, that with Jodie and Tony, of course, and also Ted Levine for his exceptionally courageous performance as James Gumb, and Scott Glenn and Anthony Heald and Brooke Smith and Diane Baker and all the other wonderful actors. I also, this won't take forever, sorry. I also had the extraordinary good fortune to have been embraced by Orion Pictures at a time which, unlike this amazing peak moment of my life, I was at a kind of a low valley moment when Mike Medavoy and Bill Bernstein and Arthur Krim and Eric Pleskow kind of reached out to me and encouraged me and helped create a home for my collaborators and myself. And we made some movies for them, and when I'll never forget when Mike Medavoy said, "I think there's a book you might be interested in. I'll send it over." And it's obviously, I know everybody feels the extraordinary irony of what's happened, this terrible thing that's happened to Orion at a moment of reemergence that included Silence of the Lambs and many other things. And one thing. Anyway, two other quick things. I'm sorry, this is almost one, just about directing. I wanted very much to salute John Singleton and Matty Rich and Jodie Foster and Ernest Dickerson and a bunch of new people in the last year that have come on with very exciting, wonderful visions and really breathed tremendously important new life into our whole cinematic landscape. And I really want to salute those people very strongly. I also want to very, very quickly, I had the good fortune of of being encouraged and briefed by two great American filmmakers who are no longer with us. And I'm thrilled to be able to invoke the recent memory of two great men, two great filmmakers, Hal Ashby and Martin Ritt, who were really, really wonderful to me. And finally, I've obviously got to say hi, Mom, and thanks for transferring your love of movies to me, and thanks, Dad, for making me think I could actually be part of this industry. And thank you. Thank you.
Some more film and tomorrow's movie headlines will be seen after these final messages.
What entrepreneurs do is they find an idea and then they risk everything every day.
We design contemporary fashions from traditional African fabrics. We're based in Oakland, but we do a lot of business with LA and Seattle.
What I recommended for her was the AT&T Small Business Option Area Code Plan, which gives them an automatic 10% discount to 1 or 2 area codes that they call most. Every customer has a goal. What we want to do is help them to achieve that goal.
We can make a difference. AT&T. Call us.
Try this, Baron. Child's play. 85 Montre shape, kicked by a man with one leg. Your turn. The tea is Darjeeling, but the water's from a spring in Tibet. Your turn. Ah, distinctive real cola taste. Diet Coke. Close, but not close enough.
Caffeine-free Diet Coke. Great cola taste, no caffeine.
To your health.
Just for the taste, Diet Coke.
I lost 40 pounds in 4 months on the Ultra Slim Fast plan, and I've kept it off for over a year.
It's been 2 years since I lost my 25 pounds.
And I lost 30 pounds almost 3 years ago. The plan is easy. I had a delicious shake for breakfast, one for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. It's the delicious low-fat way to lose weight.
We took it off.
And kept it off.
If we can do it, you can do it.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
In a world of constant change, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential Rock Solid.
The 64th Annual Academy Awards will continue in a moment. A world television premiere.
You look like somebody with a story to tell.
Victoria Principal.
Are you surprised?
I never mix business with pleasure.
I mean business.
Playing 3 different roles.
He's dangerous.
So am I.
In 3 different stories.
How do you expect me to give you what we both want?
Of mystery and suspense.
I'd like to report a murder.
I never said anything about killing her.
Seduction. 3 Tales from the Inner Sanctum. Sunday at 9, 8 Central.
Late Night has a new kind of talk. Night Talk with Jane Whitney.
Do you feel like you're maybe a tool of this conspiracy?
Tackling today's hottest topics. It's controversial.
She consented 100%.
She said no.
No, she consented.
Compelling.
No one's keeping track of how many women have died under the knife.
Compassionate.
Look at the hurt on her face.
I know. Night Talk with Jane Whitney. Hot daytime talk at night.
Late Night tonight on TV5.
Step into spring
and put your best foot forward
at the Super Cities Walk for Multiple Sclerosis.
Join us Sunday, April 5th as thousands walk in Canton, Akron, and right here in downtown Cleveland.
Get your friends and co-workers to pledge money for each mile you walk, and you'll be helping the fight against MS.
So join the walk. Free food and entertainment, prizes, and lots of fun for the whole family. You'll have a great time helping a great cause.
Call this number for more information and step out with us at the Super Cities Walk for MS.
Behind the scenes look at the Oscars tomorrow on Live on 5.
Oh, Brick, how long does this have to go on, this punishment? Haven't I served my term? Can't I apply for a pardon?
Lady, that finishing school voice yours sounds like you was running upstairs to tell somebody the house was on fire.
Is it any wonder? You know what I feel like? I feel all the time like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Then jump off the roof, Maggie. Jump off it. Now, cats jump off roofs and they land uninjured. Do it. Jump.
Jump where? Into what?
Take a lover.
Thank you. Well, we were looking pretty good back then.
Hey, I think we're still looking pretty good.
Well, we come now to the final award of the evening, the one for Best Picture.
The 5 films nominated this year are so varied in their subject matter, dealing as they do with opposites attracting, criminals interacting, history in question, cannibal indigestion, and last but not least, a beauty and a beast.
And here are the nominees for the Best Picture. Beauty and the Beast, Don Hahn, producer. Bugsy, Mark Johnson, Barry Levinson, Warren Beatty, producer. JFK, A. Kidman Ho and Oliver Stone, producer. The Prince of Tides, Barbara Streisand and Andrew Karsh, producer. Silence of the Lambs, Edward Saxon, Kenneth Utt, and Ron Bozeman, producer.
And the Oscar goes to The Silence of the Lambs. Edward Saxon, Kenneth Utt, and Ron Bowman.
Gary Getzman, our executive producer, is a partner in this, as are the 120 other people who made this film. This is their award. We all especially want to thank Thomas Harris, whose extraordinary imagination made all this possible, and give our deepest gratitude to Arthur Krim, Eric Pleskow, Bill Bernstein, Mike Medavoy, and Mark Platt of Orion Pictures for their support and unwavering commitment to artistic freedom throughout the years. We've got some personal thank yous. I personally want to thank my parents, my family, my teachers, especially Art Murphy, and Jonathan Demme, my mentor and dear friend.
I'm Kenny Ott. Gil, I need a teleprompter. I feel like John Wayne. I'm 10 feet tall. In addition to the Demme family and the Orion family, I want to thank my family, my wife, who's been the star of our family for 50 years, Angie, and to my son, Tim, our son, Tim, in Vermont and his family, and to our daughter, Robin, and my partner, Robin Fajardo in New York. Thank you very much. Thank you, Academy. Ron Bozeman.
I'm Ron, and to my family, my parents, my Dubber in Texas, my wife, my love, Kyle, our young son, Regan, and to the family of filmmakers that Jonathan has assembled and with whom we've made some wonderful films, particularly this one, and to all of you for your support for this movie. We thank you.
That's nothing really. As far as the two-handed push-ups are concerned, you can do that all night. And it doesn't make any difference whether she's there or not. Because And besides, it's a hell of a lot less expensive. Wow.